So this week, I've heard this same statement spoke a couple times about me, which is that I'm an exception. An exception to the rules, right? An exception to the rules when it comes to the relationship I have with my wife. An exception to the rules when it comes to actually being able to gain control of my life over alcohol. An exception to the rules when it comes to building a business back from being broke, busted, disgusted over and over and over and over once. But the reality is this. There isn't one person watching this on this camera, or looking who is an exception to the rules, including me. There literally is not one thing that I can do better than you or different than you, other than the fact that I'm willing to continue to do what's required for me to live a life for me. Think about that for a second. Since most of you people who watch this come for the alcohol, you have a drinking problem. That's who I am. I'm a comeback. I'm the founder and the creator of this thing. We've got a brand. We've helped thousands of people. It's a movement. It's got momentum. It's a machine. There's hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people that tune into the content. And then in this world that I live in, people look at me like I'm some sort of figure that is unattainable, unreachable, specifically when it comes to the overcoming the obstacles of my past. I just did a podcast here a little bit ago, I don't know, about 2 hours ago, hour and a half ago, maybe not that long ago. And the topic was the same. I was able to freestyle and flow on this thing for a couple minutes because I was thinking about how much that pisses me off. Not that people put me in a position of a life that say that I'm different. I don't care what they say about me. It's because of you. Thinking that something isn't for you. Thinking that you should not be able to control your drink because it's so hard. Or that you are stuck inside of this rut, this life that you live. That you are weak, that you are diseased, or nothing you can do. It's a generational curse. You're at a disability over it. It's all BS. When I legitimately look at my life and I look at what it's taken for me to get here, I'm like, dang. Only thing I did was just keep going. That's it. I would continue to do things when I did not want to do them. I want you to ask yourself some questions if you're listening to this content. What are the things in your life where you have this start-stop? You know what you're supposed to do. You start off, 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it is, and you go. And it could be inside your mind. You may actually not even take the activity or take the action to do it, but you set out on this path and then you just stop. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it's getting in shape. Maybe it is drinking. Maybe it's going back to school to get your GED. I don't know where you walk inside of your life. But there is no exception to any rule. This world will give you exactly what you put into it. Nothing more, nothing less. If your life is not showing up and working the way you want it to work, it's because you are not willing to take from it or to sacrifice or to put in the effort, the intensity, and the energy long enough to reap the benefits. So this week, when we had a couple conversations that I heard about me saying, oh, well, Mark's the exception. You guys are the exception. It was about, I'm not going to go down that route. Doesn't matter. It's so annoying that people would think that just because I do something, they can't do it. Or maybe not even me. Fuck me for a minute. Right? I don't even matter. There's people far superior in intellect, ahead of me in business, probably even better at relationships, in better health, better physical shape. There's all these different people out there that you can aspire to be to, that you can look to for motivation. You can look for as a guideline, as a beacon, as a pillar of light, right? But that doesn't do anything. That legitimately doesn't fix or do anything for you. You only determine what you will get out of this life. And I think to myself so often, 21 years is how long I struggled with drinking. And I got the same thing out of it. I would do the same thing. I would drink all day. I'd put some brief moments behind me. I'd done 6 months, 7 months, 3 weeks. This balancing act of trying to tell myself, trying to lie to myself, saying that I'm going to be sober, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, only to find myself doing the start, stop, knowing clearly what I need to do, but lacking the courage and the ability to stay focused on what it is that I want. So now here I sit 8 years removed, not trying to preach or put myself up on some sort of whatever, right? I'm not trying to put myself on ahead of anybody. I just been doing things that others won't do. Not worrying about what others won't do because I'm only worried about what I will do. Some people might say that that's like being a narcissist. Or, fine, I don't care. I know that my life does not work unless I do the work. What is that work that you need to do? For me, it was real simple. I started to live my life by this code. Stop fucking lying. Like every day. Don't tell the world lies. Literally for a while in my life, I would back out of places because I couldn't even tell the truth. Like that was 8 years ago. It was so ridiculous. I wouldn't hang around people. I'm like, you know what? The easiest way to not lie is just not talk. So if I just don't talk to people, I don't go around people, I'm not going to lie. Until eventually I got sick and tired of talking to myself, but I started telling myself my truth, but telling myself the truth. But the reality is stop fucking lying isn't about what I don't say. It's those lies of omission. It's those things inside of my mind that I'm not believing. It's those stories and those lies and those situations that I won't act upon. It's telling myself I can't, or this isn't for me, or success isn't for me, or not being able to be in control of my life over alcohol isn't for me. Like none of this was for me. So I had to literally start believing that any single thing in my life, like your life, is possible. Like this is not complicated. I watch the same videos that you guys do. Well, not right now because I'm on a fast, if you will, from technology, just making content, not consuming it. But I see the same motivational clips. I know the same popular people. I see the same messages. Inspiration, motivation is everywhere. It's great. It's out there for each and every one of us. But the reality is none of that works unless you will look at yourself and say, I am committed to me. So since this topic that I'm on is on drinking, where in your life today can you make a choice and a decision to understand that there is no exceptions to the rule? There's only the way that you play the game. There's only the way that you show up today. That every drink, every sip, every time you touch that beer bottle to your lips is a choice that you made. There's no invisible force that is forcing you to do anything. Like there's no exception to the rules with that. We can walk outside of this place right now, go to this bar, and I guarantee you there's not somebody just making dudes guzzle shots at 3 PM, but it's happening. I don't even care. Like I'm irrelevant to those people's lives. My message is irrelevant. I do not care. You should not care. They do not care. But the people that need to hear this today, that are looking at their lives and like, man, I want a way out. Because that was me. I wanted a way out so desperately. Like one, I would contemplate suicide. Like I thought that was the only way out. Like I failed to realize like, hey man, there's actually another way out of this, which is just stop being an idiot. I started buying into things out there like beliefs that weren't mine. Generational curses, disease. I'm sick. I'm weak. I have no control. There's this one video floating around somewhere, not a video, it's an audio floating around somewhere that my brother just so happened to actually hit record on it. I don't know how he did it, but it was like an hour-long video of me talking. It's so pathetic. Like the things I was saying were so, I get mad about it. We're so pathetic. Like if I could go back in time and I could just grab me by the shoulder, grab me by the hair, just shake me and be like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you choosing to live this way? Because the truth was, and this is something that I hate to say, but it's the reality is I wasn't ready to hear. Well, actually, nobody told me the information I'm telling you. I thought that what was out there, the way that this worked was a certain type of way. There's only one way to do this. And this one way to do this was for me for the rest of my life to look at my life like it was different. Like I could never drink again. I could never be around people that drink again. I need to hide. I need to only take care of a plant. All great things. This is not a knock on AA. I'm unwilling to say that I don't want to say that I'm better. I'm really good at what I do, but my knock is not against AA. We're fighting the same war. We're fighting the same spiritual battle. We both believe in higher powers. We both believe in God, right? Just two different ways to go about it. My God grants me dominion over my choices, complete control. In order for me to get complete control, I had to let go of control to realize I have no control. Therefore, I have all the control to be able to live a life for me. My knock is not with AA. My knock is with the fact that there's people outside there that are unwilling to come to a place inside of their life where they can make themselves an exception for them. Where they can believe for the first time in their life, hey, life might be a little more beautiful without alcohol. This message is applicable to other things too. Like, I have to talk about drinking because that's what we deliver here. But it's the same shit. My business is my business. I could sell widgets, I could sell phones, we could sell hats. It does not matter. Nothing is stopping me from building, creating, or being who I'm called to be, just like nothing is stopping you. There's no person in this world, sure, they might have been born a little bit better than you, they might have more successes than you when they were born, but everybody has the same opportunity. And that's the truth. Like, if you were born in the United States of America, which majority of you that watch me are, you've already won the lotto. Doesn't matter what color you are, man or woman, who you have sex with, who you don't have sex with. Like, as a human being born right here in this country, even though it's kind of messed up right this second, the opportunity for you to rise and have whatever you want is here. Like, the only thing stopping you is you. When I go back to that story I was sharing with you guys a couple minutes ago, like, oh, you're an exception. You and your relationship's an exception. No, I was a serial cheater, like a scum fuck. Not worthy of any of the love that my wife gives me. I never hurt her, but the reality was this, that I wanted to become someone in a relationship that I could be proud of. I did not like who I was. I was not proud of who I was. I did not enjoy the way that I felt. I did not like the way that I felt when I hurt people. So what do? You just change it. You just change it. So I hear people like, oh, it's an exception. No, you know what? When I got married to my wife, my life was not what it is today. It's been years. It's been reps. It's been work. Not work for her and I to be together because we love each other, but for me to become who I'm supposed to be. Man or woman listening to this thing on one of these videos right now, do you understand the power that you yield? Like, the success that you can have in your faith, in your finances, in your family, in your fitness, to create this future that is so strong that every time you think about going back to a drink or not going to work that day or not going to the gym, that you could touch, you could feel, you could taste this future. To have the freedom to have it all by building a foundation that's beautifully built and deeply rooted in the fact that ownership, making your choices and controlling your choices and choosing how you want to feel and choosing how you want to act and not making stories and lies for the things you are not doing, will literally bring you a life of love, power, abundance, freedom, happiness. Sometimes I get on and I don't know why I talk. I feel like it's just the same message over and over and over and over. But what else is there? Like, what else is there really inside of this life than trying to live a life of significance and importance and love and purpose and power for yourself so that you can love other people? The majority of you people that watch this thing are drinking, right? The principle is, like, it's not even about me anymore. IAMACOMEBACK's less about me, more about we. And that's what we're trying to build. That's what we're trying to establish. You don't even need to take my word for it. The results are everywhere. The ideas, the theories, the beliefs, the patterns, the systems, the process, the work, the reps, the community, the relationships that are built and forged, not on alcohol, but by alcohol. They're deeply rooted in power. My question for you guys today that's listening to this thing, whether you join me or you do AA or you went to some of these other things, which I know isn't always the greatest call to action for you to come buy my shit and give me some more money. I don't care about that. Like, we put this content out that falls on ears, and I want people to hear what the message truly is. You are not weak. You are not diseased. You are not powerless in anything. This is above alcohol. This is about you. Any story, any lie that you can't have something, you can't be successful, you shouldn't start that business, you shouldn't get in shape, this isn't for me, rich people are bad. I don't deserve this. All bullshit. All bullshit. And I know I'm not supposed to swear on here because Ryan says it throttles us, but it is what it is. I am not an exception to the rules, and neither are you. If you woke up today and you're breathing and you're watching this, which you are, you have the ability and the chance to make a choice to live a life for you.